Out of the story, as always, someone say, I find it absolutely astonishing that people are trying to pin the Greyhound situation on the NDP. I suppose losing money for a decade has nothing to do with it. Unbelievable. We will do more on it because we have a number of months before that service comes to an end. And, you know, we're going to talk more about the NDP because a few of you were mad at me yesterday for saying nice things about Rachel Notley and saying nice things about Justin Trudeau. And so I'm going to read some of the emails out that I got, and we will have a conversation a little bit more about how you're feeling about the NDP these days. But I know that my next guest has spent a little bit of time with the Premier on doing something that kind of surprised me, the things you do in politics. There is a new zip line at the Calgary Stampede grounds. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to try it today because it's raining. That's my only excuse. But it sounds like it is super fun. I'm joined now by President of Stampede, Dave Sibbald, to talk a little bit about it. President Sibbald, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, but this rain's only going to be a few minutes, and so then you and I can go do the zip line together.
Man. Okay, tell me, how long is it really?
It's actually 2 legs, and both legs probably take 20 seconds, 25 seconds to do, but it probably takes you 15 minutes to climb 14 stories to get to the top.
Okay, give us the inside information. Was the Premier freaked out? Was she worried? Was she scared? Was she nervous? Or did she just say, I got this?
I don't know if this is going to put me in a good light, but I think I was as scared as she was, because when I issued the challenge, I had it under good authority that she wouldn't do it, but she took me up on it, so away we went. And you know what? It's an incredible experience to maybe fight through your fears a little bit and go, and so I would recommend it. So
okay,
when you got the time, I got the time.
By all means, I'm going to certainly go have a look. But let's talk about that, because there's a number of really interesting new attractions down here at the Stampede this year, and that's one that has gotten a lot of coverage. But is there anything else that you need to sort of let people know?
Well, as you know, I mean, today's Community Day, and our great partner McDonald's has partnered with us to provide the opportunity for all the guests to come down till 2 o'clock for $2, and seniors are here for free. But amongst all of that, we have the new Roadhouse, which is a great entertainment and food destination. I mean, we've changed up some Midway foods. I believe there's 50 new ones. And so, you know, everybody wants to try and challenge to eat all 50. And I mean, there's people that actually get that done. So, to my surprise, I can get about 5 or 6.
I was going to say, you're still looking pretty slim, but it's a long week, right? I can imagine you could easily consume 40,000 more calories than you could burn off in this week.
Well, that's about the only time that I actually can stay that busy and consume all the food that we can here. But I mean, the Western Oasis, I mean, the Rodeo and the Chucks have added new events, you know, to help, you know, really get back to our Western roots and be part of that Western heritage. And we had side saddle races for 2 nights, and those ladies, 8 of them raced around that track side saddle. And I mean, that's a unique experience. And then last night we had the relay racers back, and I mean, it's a crowd hit. So we continually source new things so that our guests are actually exposed to really that Western heritage that we all really truly appreciate.
Well, and you talk about getting back to the roots. I mean, this really was an agriculture festival, an agricultural extravaganza when it began. Does a lot of business still get conducted in town on the agriculture front during Stampede?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm a 5th-generation rancher, and so, you know, our first exposure was when we actually brought cattle to town and sold them, right? And now we've evolved into an agriculture trade deal, and we actually have a trade symposium tomorrow that all the industry partners, and I mean that's all the way from the cattle to the chicken, the pigs, the commodities. We're having actually a couple speakers talk about trade, and we all know trade's big and on the forefront right now and how it will affect agriculture. But we have all the federal minister. We have the federal minister here, the provincial minister here, and we're actually having a lot of discussions. And so not only do we bring the community together to talk about and engage in community engagement, but we bring the business community, and agriculture is at the forefront here.
So it's not all fun. It's actually some work too.
Well, it should be a little bit of work, right? Because I mean, these industries, I mean, the whole agriculture piece has been a big part of our history, and you know, our guest experience. We have 22 agriculture committees, and they actually have so much programming. And this year, they actually jammed all the programming. Some of it, which used to be in the Saddle Dome that sits behind us today, it's all in the Nutrien Western Event Center. And I mean, we're highlighting agriculture, and really, truly, our design and the quest is to connect to urban and rural population, because the food issue is a very important issue to everyone.
Yeah, it sure is. And talk more about community engagement, because sometimes I've felt guilty that I haven't taken part in Stampede if I hadn't come down to the grounds, but there are always so many events outside of the Stampede grounds to take part in, and that's part of what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's the community fabric. I mean, as this great city has developed a brand that's known worldwide, the Calgary Stampede's been part of that, right? And some would say Stampede's led that. I truly believe Stampede's been part of this community's growth from the beginning. I mean, we're 106 years here, right? And we've gone through the highs, we've gone through the lows, and the resiliency that this community has, and in southern Alberta, I mean, we all know about the flood and the fight that everybody had through that, but you know what? It was community that got us through it. And I mean, and that's the core values that the Calgary Stampede's always been about, is providing an opportunity for the community to gather and celebrate. And those were the words of the Big Four, but way back in 1912 when they hired Guy Wiedek to put the first one on.
All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing a little bit of the story, the Stampede story. Any other final messages you want to give to the listeners today?
Oh, if you can't make it down today, I mean, there's several more days, and come enjoy, because there's thousands of new things. And I thank you for the opportunity to just to highlight a few. And yeah. This is a great time.
My pleasure. Good seeing you. So that was President Dave Sibbald, who has given me the zipline challenge. Let me give you guys the zipline challenge, because I just don't think that we are going to get good weather today. What am I to do if it's rainy outside? There's metal. I don't want to get struck by lightning. Might have to come back. But this has been almost perfect weather so far this Stampede season, and it's going to continue to be. So if you can't make it down today, although you might want to, if you're a senior, you will be able to get in for free all day long. If you are not a senior, you'll be able to get in for just a toonie, $2, up until 2 o'clock today. So you still have a couple of hours to get here. We also have some time for your calls, so stay with us. We will be right back to continue the conversation on 770 CHQR.